And we're just gonna hop in because I don't want to like get any like pleasantries out of the way because that's kind of like what I'm doing with this whole thing.
Well, then, if we're gonna record our pleasantries, it's good to see you again, Mike
It's good to
Arms.
see you. In terms of what they thought about you. And I'm not saying that again in an accusatory way. I'm saying what they think about you as a person versus what your wife might love about you and say are your best qualities versus what a sister might.
I think to most people, I'm viewed as kind of a cartoon character, and I prefer that. I think when Jen and I first started dating, I believe she said that she thought I was a drug addict and I was addicted to porn, and I was like, yeah, but I'm also all right. Like I'm also an okay human.
I guess I don't
Um,
pay attention enough or care enough to think like drug addict, but really?
no, I'm not at all. But
Okay.
just like perception of what people have of you before they get to know you.
That's funny. I don't think I would have ever pinpointed down on drug addict for you.
With a little bit of me and Jen's history before we started dating. I was in Vegas once. Jen took care of me like the next day. Like, you okay?
Aw.
Do you need help? And like this before we were dating. So if that was the bulk of her maybe exposure to me, then yeah, I could see that.
Okay, yeah. Then that changes everything
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
completely.
If that's all you know about the
I
person, like
like I like how you're just saying one of your first one-on-ones with your wife was a night so bad that the next morning she thought you were a drug addict and porn addict and you were all in Las Vegas. Like that's not a oh my god, dude.
eh.
So do
Um
you consider yourself happy? That's a weird question. And I don't want to be like, are you happy? But like, do you consider yourself in a better place than you were the day before that Vegas thing, the day before like you and Jen had that moment together? Or do you think you would have eventually found what you have now, just minus her?
no, yeah, I mean it's very different. It'd be very different. Would I survive? Sure, I would have survived. You know, I think
You said
it
survived. How bad was that night in Vegas?
um it's all right. It was a good
All
night.
right,
It's
awesome.
no, I'm saying like if me and Jen never got married, would I be a mess or something like that? I don't think I'd be a mess, but I just think it's different. Especially, I can't speak for other people's marriage. When we first both started dating, we were already grown up. So many people start a relationship when they're younger, and there's the human brain's still developing until we're 25, and before you're 25 you haven't even really achieved how your brain is going to process things.
Right.
That's why it's always scary. The older I get, the more like when I was younger and teenagers would be like, oh, I'm gonna kill myself today, I'd be like, fucking A, man, get out. And that's great, man, take control of it, Hemingway. And now it's like I want to grab every kid and go like, you don't know how to process shit. I know it's condescending,
Yeah.
but just scientifically, you're probably smarter than me, you're probably 10 times smarter than me, but you still don't know how to process shit. So you can still kill yourself at 30 if you feel the same way, and I guarantee you won't. So just step back and walk away. So like weird to talk about, but I was very Catholic growing up. I was raised in the Catholic Church, and I would do the readings at Mass. And I was for a while even thinking about going into the priesthood because I liked public speaking. I liked being in front of people and telling stories.
No.
Yep, just a little bit. Uh,
When did you make that break with religion? Because I also grew up going to Catholic school, and I think it was around my freshman or sophomore year that I had a really bad identity crisis and realized this altar boy growing up going to mass every month realized because of the history of religion class that they made us take at Garces, there are all these different world religions, and how dare we say that one isn't the right one? And I took it the other way and thought, who's to say that mine is even correct? And I kind of broke at that moment and got so freaked out and still don't have any kind of religious identity because I would like to believe that there is something, but who am I to say that it's this?
because most of us are religious because our parents are religious. And then you go to high school and you meet other people that are other religions or not religious, and you start talking to them, and you're again brain is not fully developed and how you process things isn't completely there. And so you kind of take it in and then you start to question your own. Well, I always say religion came around because of one of three things. One, it's all true. And that's fucking amazing. No atheist in the world would be pissed if there's an afterlife. Not one of us. Send me to hell.
A
Because,
performative atheist would.
what do you think so? Like,
I think someone who just says I'm an atheist for attention
ah,
would be mad at that. And I think that's the difference between, again, performative and someone who actually gives it some kind of thought.
the fear of not existing is so strike me to my core, cold, terrifying.
It
That
gets me almost every night. Like it'll just hit me sometimes where I'm like, someday I might not exist, and I get shivers.
yeah, it always happens to me at the saddest moment a human, like as if Charlie Kaufman was writing my life, where it's like I was at Panera once eating a bacon sandwich, and I was like, one day I won't exist, and it doesn't matter what I do or accomplish, and the human race has only got a limited amount of time. There's only so much water. There's only so much time on this planet. We're all dead. There's no point to anything. And I just sat down the sandwich and I just sat there, saddest man in the world, sad ape man, crying into his fucking grilled cheese bacon sandwich.
And in the last 2 years, like losing my mom and my grandma back to back, like I did, like almost like one, like on an annual basis, was like the most bullshit thing that I could have thought to go through. But it was 2 years of me having to reevaluate, like, this is real and this is going to keep happening. Why am I not happy at work? And how can I get happy at work?
You know, one thing that did help me was, funny enough, was philosophy. I really got into Kierkegaard, and I really got to I think it's Camus. He's got
Camus.
Camus.
Camus
Thank you.
from Metroid.
So he's got the Sisyphus analogy that I like, which is Sisyphus is doomed to push a boulder up a hill for the rest of his life, and it falls down, and he must go back and pick it up. And the thing he says at the end of the tale is, "Did anybody ask if Sisyphus was happy?"
Interesting.
And that's it. That is it. Like,
I've never looked at it that way.
If Sisyphus is happy pushing the goddamn boulder up the hill, and you can, and then it doesn't matter. Like, it's hell for you, but it isn't for him. And so then that becomes like, what do we find in our own life that is happy or rewarding? And then it doesn't matter.
Who knows what the next level up's going to be. But thank you for taking the time. I appreciate it. And thank you, and be safe and be healthy.
Best of luck on your self-discovery quest. I think it's I think it's something we all hit. They used to call it the midlife crisis, but I think a lot of people, the midlife crisis for some of us starts at 13.
Yeah.
And goes either until we figure it out or we give up.